Hey there, welcome back. In today's Python crash course, we'll dive into lists. Lists are one of the most powerful and commonly used data structures in Python. I'll walk you through everything from basics to advanced techniques, explaining each concept step by step. By the end of this lesson, you'll be a pro at working with lists. Let's jump right in. A Python list is a collection of items stored in a single variable. Lists are ordered, mutable, dynamic, and allow duplicates. Here is an example. In this code, we created a list called fruits with 3 items: apple, banana, and cherry. When you print the list using the print function, Python displays all items enclosed in square brackets. You can also mix data types in a list. For example, this list contains an integer 42, a string hello, a float 3.14, and a boolean true. Lists can hold any combinations of data types, making them incredibly versatile. Python lists use zero-based indexing, meaning the first item is at index 0, the second item is at index 1, and so on. You can access individual items using their indexes. We can do this by using fruits, then square brackets, and then specify the index. In this example, fruits 0 retrieves the first item since we start with index 0, which is now apple, and fruits 2 will retrieve the third item, cherry. You can also use negative indexing to access items from the end of the list. If we do print fruits then a -1 index, this is going to print the last item, which is cherry. Negative indexes start from the end of the list with -1. Not -0, because in numbers we don't have -0. Then the second item will be referred with -2. Slicing allows you to extract portions of lists. The syntax is list, then square brackets, then the arguments are start, end, and step as they follow each other. The start argument, this is the index where the slice begins, and this is always inclusive. The end argument, this is the index where the slice ends, and this is always exclusive. The step argument, this is the interval between elements, and this is optional. In this example, you can see that numbers with slice of 2 to 5 starts at index 2, which will be inclusive, and ends at index 5, which will be exclusive. So this means that the items are going to be 2, 3, and 4. You can see 5 was excluded because it is at index 5. We can also omit the start or end. When you omit the start, the slice begins from the start of the list. When you omit the end, the slice goes to the last item. We can also use step in slicing. In this example, the step argument specifies the interval. For example, numbers and 2 colons picks every second item, and numbers 1 and 2 colons to 3, which is the step, starts at index 1 and picks every third item. You can try on more examples with slicing and steps to see how it works. Now let us look at list methods. Let us start by adding items. Adding items, we use more than one method, and the first one is append. Append adds an item to the end of the list. If we do fruits.append, the item is mango, which means mango will be added as the last item to our list fruits. Insert, this one adds an item at a specific position. Fruits.insert takes in 2 arguments. The first argument is the position, and the last one is the item to be added. If we do therefore fruits.insert orange, orange will be inserted at position index 1. Let us also look at extend. Extend adds multiple items to the list. Fruits.extend, you can now specify a list of items to be extended or to be added to the list. Removing items, we can remove items with these 3 methods. We can use .remove method to remove the first occurrence of the value specified. So if we do fruits.remove, this one will return the list but banana removed. We can also use pop. If we use pop, you can see now this one will remove an item by index. By default, it is the last item, but if you specify the index, then it will remove an item at that index. If we now use clear, clear will remove all items from the list. If you try to print the fruits, then you will see that all the items were cleared. If you look closely, you can see these methods are actually modifying the existing list, which means that lists are mutable. Let us now continue to finding items. We can use index to find the first occurrence of an item. So if we do fruits.index, then cherry, we can see that this method index will return the index where cherry is located. We can also use count to count how many times an item appears. So if we do fruits.count, it will count in our list fruits how many times banana appears there. So index finds the position of the first occurrence of the item specified, and count returns how many times a value or the item specified appears in a list. Let us also look at sorting and reversing. So in our example, you can see numbers.sort. This is going to sort the list in ascending order. If we do numbers.reverse, then this is going to reverse the order of the list. So sort arranges the list in ascending order, while reverse flips the order of the item. So let us look at another functionality in lists which is very important, the copy. So copy creates a duplicate of list that you can modify independently of the original. As you saw, most of these methods are mutating the existing list. Therefore, you can use copy and be able to have a copy of the list so that you can do, or you can use methods you want, and this will not change the original list. Now, to look at some advanced functionality of lists, we can also look at nested lists. You can see that this variable matrix takes in nested lists. So nested lists are lists within lists. Example, you can see that we have a list in another list. So we can access these items by using two square brackets. You can see the first square brackets will specify an index within the major list, and the second one will specify the item within the nested list, therefore accessing the element in the second row and third column. You can see when you try to print matrix and the index that we shall get an output of 6. And let us look at another concept called list comprehensions. In Python, list comprehensions are a concise, elegant, and Pythonic way to create, modify, or filter lists. Instead of using lengthy loops, you can use a single line of code to achieve the same result. Let's break it down step by step with example and detailed explanation. This is the basic syntax of a list comprehension, as you can see it on your screen. So let me explain each item within that syntax. So the expression keyword, this is the value or transformation to include in the new list. Then for item in iterable, this one iterates over each item in a given iterable like a list, range, or string. So the keyword or the word iterable will be replaced by either list or range or a string, anything that is iterable. Then if condition, this one is optional but filters items based on a condition. Let us create our first list using list comprehension. Suppose you want to create a list of numbers from 0 to 4. So this is going to be x for x in range 5. Remember, range 5 will print 0 up to 4, not 5 included. Our x here is the variable that represents each number in the range. And range 5, this is our iterable that generates numbers from 0 to 4. If we print numbers, we shall see the result is 0 up to 4 indeed. You can also apply mathematical operations or transformation to each item by making sure that you show your variable or you give your variable certain operations. You can see our expression x power 2 calculates the square of each number in range 5, and this now is going to print 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, as the results will be now squares of each number in the iterable. We can also add a condition or filtering items. So you can add an if statement to filter items before adding them to the new list. You can see now we are trying to find even numbers from the iterable. So if we print, it will only be even numbers. Remember that x percentage 2 equals 0. This condition ensures only even numbers are included, or only numbers that are divisible by 2. So therefore, the result is a list of even numbers from 0 to 9 as we're using range 10. Please, you can read more about list comprehension, as this is an advanced concept and this is going to help you not to struggle with a lot of code. That's everything you need to know about Python lists. From their properties and slicing to all the useful methods, you now have the tools to work with in lists effectively in your project. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you in the next Python crash course. Bye. Happy coding.